What's the mood like then, Liam? What's the mood in the camp like after Tuesday's defeat?
I think yeah, Thursday we had a really good meeting Thursday where we discussed it, the learning from it, what we do differently next time to obviously flip the result and change the outcome of the game. And then I felt after that meeting it kind of we drew a line under it and went right on to the next one. You can't carry the emotion and the frustration and that side of the result into the next days and the next game. So uh, yeah, I think the lads are so honest and so self-aware that their reflections, extremely close to what the staff, felt, saw, and thought. So, I think that makes it easier to have a really open, honest discussion to then, like I said, learn from the experience and make sure that we improve in the future.
It isn't unfair to say that obviously automatic promotion is still possible. Things have to go your way, obviously, and you'll have to win your games. But as I said to Harry Darling, there is a very big consolation in being secure in a playoff place over the next couple of games.
No, definitely. I think obviously two to go, so I can't keep going game by game, can I? So I think I think the biggest thing is making sure that we do what we need to tomorrow, and that's there were so many good things first half the other night. There were so many positives that when I look at it, it's probably up there with halves that I've really enjoyed watching us play against a side that are a strong side. So, I think the biggest thing is taking that into the game tomorrow, taking that that control, taking that quality, adding in the final bits, and that'll then get us the result. And it wasn't far away the other night. That's probably the biggest frustration from the players. It wasn't. It was so close to being exactly what needed to happen. So yeah, that's the biggest thing. Take that into the game, put that into the performance tomorrow. Do everything we can to try and get the win, and then yeah, we'll see where we're at the end of that.
Is there a point this season, you said there's only 2 games to go, where you actually do start looking at the other games going on?
Not in it. I think afterwards you do. Yeah, I think afterwards. Yeah, you look. I said it earlier. I remember talking about it in terms of it's how much energy you give it. So of course, awareness, knowledge of it, and understanding of it's important. But I think if you spend too much time wrecking your head around right this permutation, that outcome, this outcome, we need this to happen, rather than going actually what's the most important thing, and that's us winning the game. And we have to do that tomorrow. We have to make sure that and I have to say even the other night the lads give everything they can to try and win matches, and they have done all season, which is why they've done so well, and why for me I've been delighted how they've done this season. So I think it's keep doing what we've done all year, and we'll flip it.
I mean, with the greatest respect, you battered Oxford in the first half. I mean, absolutely all over them. It was, as you say, such an impressive 45 minutes of football, and then just tailed away. Have you your discussions on Thursday, were they around the reasons perhaps why that second half wasn't as good as the first half?
Yeah, it's something we spoke about earlier in the year. There's been a couple of games this year where this season, should I say, sorry, where we've had a little pattern like that. And I think, when you look at it, Oxford didn't have a shot first half, didn't have one shot. And you look at the chances we created. The Troy's moment, which was terrific. Hiram had a really good chance off his right side. There's another moment, obviously, where Twiney's in and can get slid in. I thought we looked quite dangerous first half. So we had real good control, went through them, round them, over them. So there were so many positives from that. The one thing that we've spoken about a few times this season is then, of course, the opposition are going to change what they do. The game changes. So we can't play the same game we played first half. We have to then adapt, problem solve, and think, what do we need to do to be successful in a different second half where they're more aggressive, they commit bodies higher, they're more man for man. They take more risks because they need to win the game. How do we manage those situations? So that was a big bulk of the discussion that we had. And again, I have to say this: it's a terrific group. The players drive most of the conversation. Which when it comes to game day, they're the ones that can then feel it and relate to the experiences we've had and own it. In game.
Obviously, you've lost Mo Isa, and there's no point in going on about that. But it does expose maybe a little lack of depth in the forward positions. Is that fair?
I think I look at it from Mo's quite unique in how he plays for us. I think he brings some qualities that other people potentially don't have. But at the same point, I think the options we then do have bring different qualities that Mo might not have. So I think it's one of those. Obviously we're disappointed to lose him because he's done so well for us, and he scored some important goals. And talking to him this morning, just how well he does out of possession for the team and how he sets the tone out of possession. There's not too many nines in League One that can defend like he does. So of course it's a loss losing him, and but I also think then the next bit, what that means is there's an opportunity now for someone else, and it's a case of come on and step up. People have been waiting for them opportunities. People have been waiting for their moment. So, it's now a case of step up and show what you can do.
And just finally on Mo, I just wanted to clarify. Obviously, he's injured at the moment. Would there, if for instance the side did go into the playoffs at the end of the season, will Mo play any part in the rest of this season, or was that him done and dusted?
No, Mo's out long term. We won't be seeing Mo for a long time.
Right. Okay. That's disappointing, obviously. But up next, Morecambe then, and a real opportunity at home to bounce back from those 2 defeats and reassert yourself in the playoffs, and then see what happens elsewhere.
Yeah, very much so. Difficult team. They've picked up some good points recently. If you look at some of the results they've had, Charlton, Portsmouth the other day, they picked up some good points. It's a tough game. They're really well organised, well set up, really honest, hard working. They've when you look at it, they're a real tough side to play against, and it's the challenge is back on us again. I think it's controlling what we can, and that I keep saying it consistently, but. So it's our energy, our focus, our intensity, our discipline to make sure that if we get that right, I think we can do what we need to do. So I think it comes back to the controllables, which is we can control us and our attitude, application, and how we go about the game.
And just finally for me, League One, there can't be many divisions in European football that are as entertaining and unpredictable as League One, and I don't think anyone was expecting it to be quite the way it has been this season.
I think some of the games recently, you look at the Sheffield Wednesday one, what a terrific advert for League One football. When you look at it, there's a bit of everything: the physicality, the quality, the style, the tactical challenges, the quality of the goals. Obviously, not nice to come out in the end that we did, but I think there's been so many games that. I think there's been good variety. I think back to Ipswich, the tactical game it was that day. Then other games where it's been such a physical challenge. I think that the league has everything, and I think it's been a real tough league. With some strong sides, and like I've said numerous times, I think big budgets, big histories, big clubs. That I think, like I said, the players, how they've performed and how they've competed against the teams that are in the league. They've been brilliant. They've been outstanding. So. They deserve a lot of credit for it, and the challenges, the players and us, the staff, we have to keep pushing now to the end of the season.
And if I may have a finally, because I said finally on the last question, but this is a finally. I've said during commentary on MK Dons games this season that I really feel that this season the fans have almost come of age. The travelling support, up and down the country, and I know it's very easy, and it's a very easy thing for reporters to do, to talk about how well the fans are performing, but this season has been absolutely incredible. Obviously, that's all you're used to, but I feel that this season the fans have really come of age.
No, they've been really good. I mean, especially on the road when you look at it. The noise at Oxford again the other night was excellent, and it does play a big difference. And hopefully the fans will turn out in their numbers, and we get a real good atmosphere and a real good noise here tomorrow, because it's so important for the players. It gives you such an energy. It can swing momentum, and I think that's some of the key aspects. When you're up against it or you're starting to get on top, the roar from the fans or a chant can actually give the players a lift. That it can shift things in games. So it's a big thank you from me, the staff, and the players. In the support that we have had, and hopefully they turn up in the numbers, get behind us, and support us through tomorrow.
Cheers, Liam. Thanks.
No problem.
Liam, on a couple of the other injured players, we saw Aidan Baldwin make the bench on Tuesday night. How's he getting on? Obviously, back fit enough to be playing at least.
Yeah, no, he's been back training a couple of weeks, so he's like I say, he's back in contention. So he's catching up in terms of just physical fitness. He missed quite a period of time, so he's back in a much better place than he was a few weeks ago.
And we also mentioned Connor Wickham missing on Tuesday night. Any chance that he could be available for this weekend?
We're looking at it. It's close, to be fair. We've had him in. We're looking at him today. It's a close one, but we'll make that decision in the next few hours, to be fair.
Again, we mentioned one of the most complete first halves that we've seen of the season against Oxford on Tuesday night, but probably one of the most complete performances overall was the win away at Morecambe, wasn't it?
Yeah, I remember that one because it was freezing cold that day. It was. I remember it quite clearly. I actually think that the scoreline flattered us a little bit that day. I thought it wasn't as. Although we played well and we didn't give them too much, it wasn't as comfortable as the scoreline suggested. I remember it being an extremely difficult game. I remember the goals and Twiney and Matt O'Reilly connecting and playing together quite well that day. So it was it was a good game. Feels forever ago now, but like I say, they've had a turnover in their squad in January, obviously changing manager, so they're a different beast now to what we faced then. So I think it's like I said, you do your homework on everybody, like every team does in the league, and so out like I keep talking about, it's us controlling what we can and preparing as best we can to make sure that we can control the things we're able to tomorrow.
I suppose one of those things you can't control though is a team scrapping for their lives, and that's exactly what Morecambe will be doing.
No, definitely, and I think that epitomises the good work going on there in culturally. Yeah, you watching some of the clips, they don't give up on anything, and that when you got a group of players that are honest, hard-working, committed, and never give up, I think that makes any team in this league dangerous. So we have to match that. We have to match the the physical intensity, the competitiveness, the desire, the grit, the resilience, all them psychological attributes. You have to match them and then be ready to try and impose our style and our quality on the game.
Nice one, thank you, mate.
All right, no worries.
Just very quickly on Warren. Actually, I think he's probably gone under the radar quite a bit this season. I was looking actually just before I came on the call. I think he's had 99 professional games. Probably going to get his 100th this weekend. Obviously, over 45 games this season. How impressed have you been with development this year? Because I suppose going into the season, I suppose especially on this side of the pond, we probably wouldn't have heard too much about him. Probably back in his time at Bowles in Ireland, we probably know a fair bit, but not much since then. So, how impressed have you been in terms of how he's kicked on since since you've arrived, really?
Well, Warren's been terrific this year. I think what's been so impressive about him is just the level of consistency, and I think when you look at it, how he plays the game, he's so consistent and reliable with so many important actions. His basics are such a high level. He defends so well. So that immediately, that for me gives you the 6, 7 out of 10 that you need people like that in your team. And I think his level's been really, really good. Been really pleased. I think when you look at how he turned 23 this week, but when you look how young he is and actually how many games he's played, I think I forget that sometimes because of how mature he is. He's a real big character. He's a big leader for the group. I think he's stepped up really well to take on some of the leadership responsibilities. And you see that on the pitch. To be fair, he brings an element of composure and calmness, at the back. And I've been really pleased with him. And he should be really, pleased with himself, how he's done this year and how he's progressed. Because over the course of the season, when I look at him, he has improved in numerous areas. And he's I look at him now, I think he's a really solid player.
Absolutely. I know you're probably sick of asking or answering questions about Troy every single week at this point, but obviously Troy's probably a little bit different to Warren in a way. Obviously Warren's probably gone the long way around in terms of playing it here. Obviously Troy would have gone over to England at 16. I know it's probably a weird thing to say, but there's probably an expectation on him the last couple of weeks to be performing well, and he seems to be coping with it. I suppose from your perspective as a manager, you must be really pleased with, I suppose, how he's dealing with that pressure.
Yeah, Troy. If you reflect on Troy's season, I think it's been a really good one, learning wise for him. I think he had a terrific start, had a little bit of a dip, and then the last few months he's been terrific for the team, and I think he's really matured. I think when I look at him now, just the consistency of so many important aspects that make a player trustworthy. He's so consistent with those. That like I said, that gets you picked. It's then on your quality, and he's now added that recently. Which when you look at it, some of the goals he scored recently and the impact he's had in attacking areas, that's also extremely important. But he's had another one that's had a really solid finish to the season, and we still got time to go, and the challenge is to keep pushing him and make sure that he strives to continue improving, which so far he's been excellent at.